Hey everyone, welcome back to Inventive Minds, Shaping the World. This is episode number 11. And today we're going way back in time to see how we humans changed how we connect, share, and experience the world.
Really fascinating stuff.
But first I got to give a shout out to Audiocast Lab India.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They're the geniuses behind not only this podcast, but so many others. And if you've ever thought about starting your own podcast, you really need to talk to these folks.
Absolutely.
They can help with everything, like from making your story really pop to making sure the audio sounds amazing.
Like a pro.
Yeah. But before we dive too deep into the digital age, let's rewind the clock.
Okay.
Back when even a simple message could take weeks or even months to get where it was going.
Wow, that's crazy.
Can you imagine a world with no instant messages, no video calls, not even email?
I mean, it's hard to even imagine, right?
Yeah.
Back then, the speed of a horse or a ship, that's how fast your information could travel.
Seriously, talk about snail mail. So let's set the stage. It's the early 1800s and long-distance communication. Well, it was a huge pain.
Yeah.
And then along comes Samuel Morse. Not just an inventor, but a guy driven by a seriously powerful story.
Absolutely, yeah. Morse was a successful artist, believe it or not, before he got, obsessed with the idea of fast communication.
Wow, really?
It was a personal tragedy, actually. He lost his wife, and he couldn't reach her in time because communication was so slow back then. That really pushed him to find a better way.
That's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
But also amazing how humans can be so resilient and innovative.
Right.
So Morse drops the paintbrushes, dives into the world of wires and electrical signals, and bam.
Yeah.
History is made in 1844.
What hath God wrought?
Wow.
A simple message transmitted over 40 miles from Washington, D.C. to Baltimore.
That's incredible.
That was the birth of the telegraph.
I bet people were losing their minds.
I just can imagine.
Is this witchcraft?
Well, maybe not witchcraft, but definitely seen as a miracle.
Yeah.
Imagine the possibilities suddenly opening up, right? Almost instant communication with loved ones far away, up-to-the-minute news from across the country, even the ability to coordinate, military actions in real time.
It's like going from dial-up to broadband just like that.
Right.
But the telegraph is more than just some old story.
Yeah.
How did this invention really shake things up?
Oh, it was a revolution in pretty much every part of life.
Wow.
Let's take the news industry, for example. Before the telegraph, newspapers depended on old reports, sometimes weeks old, delivered by mail or word of mouth.
Oh, yeah.
But with the telegraph, suddenly they could publish accounts of things happening far away almost as they were happening.
Wow.
That had a huge impact on how people consumed and understood current events.
Yeah, that makes sense. I guess that's kind of like the beginning of breaking news as we know it, right?
Right, exactly. And I bet businesses were quick to see the potential of the telegraph, too.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
Think about stock trading. Before the telegraph, prices would swing up and down like crazy because the information was delayed or unreliable.
Oh, wow.
But with instant communication, things changed.
Really?
Markets became more stable, more efficient. It was a whole new era for financial activity.
It's incredible how this one invention had such a ripple effect, touching everything from business deals across the globe to personal relationships.
Oh, yeah.
But as groundbreaking as the telegraph was, it was just the beginning. It was like lighting a fuse on a technological firestorm.
Exactly. The telegraph led to even bigger breakthroughs, the kind that would soon bring the human voice into the mix.
And that, everyone, brings us to the next part of our journey, the telephone and the radio.
Oh, yeah. It's getting exciting now.
But first, a quick reminder, if you're loving this dive into communication history, we've got a bunch of awesome books that go even deeper. You can find links in the show notes. Knowledge is power, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, back to the show. So, where were we? Oh, yeah, about to hear voices through wires, and then get ready for it through the air. We're talking Alexander Graham Bell and the telephone, the thing that changed how we connect on a personal level forever.
Absolutely a game changer.
It's like switching from texting to a WhatsApp call.
Right.
Suddenly, you're not just reading words, you're hearing the voices of your loved ones, no matter how far apart you are.
And Bell's invention in 1876 was just mind-blowing. Imagine the impact on families separated by distance, businesses closing deals, even friends just wanting to share a laugh.
Okay, but let's be real.
Okay.
Those first phone calls probably sounded like a robot gargling gravel, am I right?
Maybe. But the point is, it was a massive change.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just about the tech itself, it was how the telephone reshaped our lives.
Yeah.
Changed personal relationships, allowed businesses to work faster, even impacted the way we design our homes.
You're right. Think about it. Before the telephone call, you didn't need a special spot in your house just for making calls. But then all of a sudden you got to figure out, where am I going to put this giant clunky phone?
Yeah.
And privacy. Forget about it.
Exactly.
Everyone in the house could hear your conversations.
It's amazing how these seemingly simple inventions changed everyday life so much.
Yeah.
But get ready, because we're about to make another huge leap forward.
Okay.
This time into the world of wireless communication.
Cue the dramatic music. We're talking radio, folks, the brainchild of Guglielmo Marconi. This visionary took communication to a whole new level. We weren't tied down by wires anymore. Voices and music could just travel through the air, reaching tons of people in a way that was never possible before.
It's crazy when you really think about it.
Yeah.
Here we are talking about the radio on a podcast, which is basically today's version of radio, just on demand.
Like history repeating itself, but with a digital twist. But the radio wasn't just about convenience. It was about entertainment, too. Families would gather around the radio, listening to music, comedy shows, those exciting radio plays that could transport you to another world.
Don't forget about the power of the radio to bring news and information to everyone, too. It became a way to shape public opinion, sometimes for the better, sometimes not.
Yeah, like that Orson Welles' War of the Worlds broadcast back in '38.
Oh, yeah.
People actually thought aliens were invading.
Yeah.
That just shows how powerful radio could be. It was the original mass media, connecting everyone in a way that was exciting and sometimes a little scary.
It was a double-edged sword, no doubt.
Yeah.
But one thing's for sure. The radio, just like the telephone before it, came from that initial spark of the telegraph. It shows how one invention can set off a chain reaction, leading to more and more, each one pushing the limits of what's possible.
And speaking of pushing limits, we're about to enter the digital age. The invention that would change everything, the internet. Get ready for part 2, where we'll dive into websites, social media, and how this digital revolution has changed our lives.
Can't wait.
But before we get there, if you're enjoying this trip through communication tech, share it with a friend. Spread the knowledge.
Right.
Now, back to the story of how we went from telegraphs to tweets.
Let's go.
Welcome back to Inventive Minds.
Ready to step into the digital age.
You know it. An era where communication technology evolved at a pace that would make Samuel Morse's head spin.
I bet.
We're talking about the internet, the ultimate game changer.
Huge.
That's like going from a horse and buggy to a SpaceX rocket.
Wow, that's a good analogy.
But before we get lost in the world of cat videos and memes, let's take a step back. How did this digital giant even happen?
Okay, well, believe it or not, the internet started as a top-secret military project back in the 60s.
What?
Yeah. It was called ARPANET. And the idea was to connect computers and share information between research institutions and military bases.
Wait, so the internet started with the government?
It's true.
That's kind of ironic, considering how much we use it to,
Yeah.
criticize the government these days.
Right, exactly.
But back then, it was all about Cold War strategy and scientific progress. It wasn't until the late 80s that a brilliant British scientist named Tim Berners-Lee came along and created the World Wide Web.
Sir Tim, the internet's knight in shining armor.
Right. He basically made the internet accessible to everyone, turning it from a niche military tool into the global phenomenon we know and, kind of love today.
I mean, that's exactly right. And from there, things just took off.
Yeah.
Email, instant messaging, websites, and eventually those social media giants that kind of run our digital lives now.
Remember those early days of dial-up? The screeching modem, waiting forever for a page to load?
I try to forget.
It's a good thing we've got fiber optic internet now.
So much better.
But even with those early limitations, it felt revolutionary, didn't it?
It did.
Suddenly, you could connect with people all over the world, find information from countless sources, even shop for that vintage Star Wars action figure you always wanted.
It's true.
It was like the whole world became a giant flea market, except you didn't have to haggle with the seller in person.
Haha. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
But it wasn't just about the technology.
Right.
The internet also had a huge impact on our culture and how we behave. Think about those early chat rooms and instant messaging platforms like, AOL Instant Messenger.
AIR, the good old
Right.
days.
It was a whole new way to hang out, to connect with people who shared your interests, and just express yourself.
Yeah,
And then came the social media explosion.
it's true.
Platforms like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, connecting billions of people and creating a global conversation.
It's like the Tower of Babel, but digital. Instead of building a tower to reach the sky, we created a network that spans the whole planet.
It's amazing,
Yeah.
but also kind of scary, right? Think about the impact of social media on everything from politics to our mental health.
Absolutely. It's a double-edged sword for sure. The same tools that bring us together and give us a voice can also be used to manipulate us, spread lies, and take advantage of people.
Yeah. The spread of misinformation, the loss of privacy, the potential for cybercrime and surveillance. Those are all serious issues. It's like we built this amazing digital playground, but forgot to put up any fences or safety rules.
It's true.
Yeah.
And as a result, we're seeing some crazy stuff happen out there.
Yeah, it's a complicated situation with no easy answers.
Right.
But I think it's so important to talk about these things, to acknowledge the amazing potential of the internet, but also the very real problems that come with it. It's up to us to figure out how this technology evolves and to make sure it benefits all of humanity.
Couldn't agree more. It's a complex landscape, and there are no easy answers.
Yeah. But I think it's important to talk about these things,
I agree.
to acknowledge both the incredible good that's come from the internet and the very real challenges that come with it. Ultimately, it's up to us to shape how this technology evolves and make sure it benefits all of humanity.
Well said. And that brings us to the big question. What's the impact of all of this? How has communication technology, from the simple telegraph to the powerful internet, shaped our lives? What are the good things and the bad things? Let's unpack that in the next part of our show.
It's a topic that definitely deserves some serious thought. Welcome back to Inventive Minds, Shaping the World.
Ready to tackle the big question.
You know it. What impact has all this communication technology had on us? From like Morse code to the age of memes.
It's a wild ride, that's for sure. On the one hand, we have this crazy access to information now. You
Yeah.
can learn practically anything online, connect with experts all over the world, even take a virtual tour of a museum on the other side of the planet. It's amazing.
It really is like knowledge is available to everyone now.
Exactly. And think about the cultural exchange that's happening too. Music, art, all these different perspectives bumping into each other and making things richer. It's brought people together in ways we couldn't have even imagined before.
It's like that old global village idea, but it's happening online. And we can't forget about the economic side of things either.
Right.
E-commerce, working from home, whole industries built on digital communication. It's created opportunities and flexibility that just didn't exist a few decades ago.
Absolutely. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows, is it?
True.
We got to look at the downsides too.
Yeah. The same tools that connect us can also be used to, manipulate, mislead, take advantage of people.
Right.
The spread of misinformation, the loss of privacy, the potential for cybercrime and surveillance. These are serious concerns.
Yeah. It's like we have a superpower, but no instruction manual.
That's a great way to put it. And then there's the digital divide, the gap between those who have access to technology and those who don't.
Right. And that gap can make existing inequalities even worse, affecting things like education, jobs, and even how people participate in society.
Yeah, it's like we're building this high-speed train to the future, but some people are stuck on the platform, unable to get on board.
It's a tough issue with no easy solutions.
It really is. But I think talking about it is important, recognizing both the amazing potential and the very real challenges that come with it.
I completely agree. It's not just about the technology itself. It's about how we use it, how we control it, and how we make sure it benefits everyone. These are ongoing discussions, and we all have a part to play in shaping this digital world.
So what does all this mean for us as individuals trying to navigate this crazy world of communication? What can we do to make the most of the good stuff and minimize the bad?
I think the most important thing is to be critical thinkers.
Okay.
Don't just absorb information, question it, check your sources, and be aware of your own biases.
It's like being a detective online, always looking for clues and checking the facts. It's like that old saying, don't believe everything you read on the internet, but take it to a whole new level.
It's true.
We need to be smart about the information we consume, especially in this age of fake news and deepfakes.
Absolutely. We also need to be mindful of how we act online, what we share, how we interact, even what platforms we use. All those choices have consequences.
Yeah.
It's about being a responsible digital citizen. Think before you post. Be kind. And remember, there's a real person on the other side of the screen.
This trip through communication history has definitely given us some valuable lessons. We've seen how innovation can change lives for the better, but it can also create new problems that we need to address.
Exactly. Technology is a tool, and like any tool, it can be used for good or bad. We have the power to decide how it impacts us.
And on that note, if you're feeling inspired to share your own stories or dive deeper into some fascinating topics, our friends at Audiocast Lab India are here to help make your podcasting dreams a reality.
They'll guide you through it all and make sure your voice is heard loud and clear.
And for anyone who wants to explore communication history even further, check out the books we recommend in the show notes.
They're full of amazing insights and different perspectives.
So we've traveled from telegraphs to the metaverse, a journey that shows how humans are always pushing the boundaries of connection and what's possible.
It's incredible.
But the story doesn't end here. Next time on Inventive Minds, we're diving into something that's both fun and thought-provoking. Entertainment through the ages. Fun and culture's evolution.
We'll explore how humans have entertained themselves throughout history, from ancient rituals to modern video games.
It'll be a blast from the past and a glimpse into the future of fun.
Oh, cool.
Until then, keep those inventive minds working, question everything, explore new ideas, and never stop learning.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe you'll be the one to start the next communication revolution.
Thanks for joining us on Inventive Minds.
See you next time.